Welcome to Amberg Acres. My my goal for this week is to finish up a heating source for the garage. I don't plan on heating round the clock type heating to keep the garage warm. There's no insulation or nothing in there. What I'm trying to do is just get enough heat in there that I can go work in there, maybe get it up to 50 degrees or whatever, that I can go in there and work on a four-wheeler without having gloves on my hands and that type of stuff. I picked up this wood furnace from a lady right across the highway over here. I paid $700 for it. These run about $2,500 new. It was in good shape. The bricks and everything inside are good. It looks like she's had a couple of hot fires in there, but I don't think that hurt the wood furnace at all. $700, and then I had to get a chimney. The chimney was, it's pretty expensive stuff. It's nice stuff though. It all screws together now, and it's insulated so you can put your hand on there and it's not hot. But anyhow, it's gonna sit outside here like this, and then I'm gonna come out in the morning and start a fire and get it warm in the garage so that I can go in there and work on something. Now, I had it running this weekend, and we were at about I don't know, in the mid-20s all weekend here, and it got really cold at night. I easily got it up to about 60 degrees in there, where I actually had to take my jacket off because I was getting too warm. So it works. I mean, obviously when it gets colder down into the zero temperatures, it's probably not going to be as efficient. But as long as it gets it up over freezing in there where I don't have to have gloves on my hands and stuff, I'll be fine. My goal for this week here is to extend this roof out, maybe enough that I can get one of these baskets under it. So I got two panels left over from the lean-to here. I have two panels left over, and they're 8 foot long. So I'm going to come out 8 foot, which is probably to about where this basket starts right here. So that'll cover this up, keep the snow off of it. At some point down the road, maybe I can enclose it, and that would make it more efficient also. But for right now, all I'm concerned about is getting a roof over it so it doesn't get snowed on and stuff. Like I said, I had it running all weekend, so I know it works. I have these panels sitting up against it here because I was getting water dripping off the roof there. It was dripping right on the electrical box, so that's why my main concern is to get this roof on. So I have it all screwed together. The board's all screwed together in there. I'm going to bring it out with the tractor and just lift it up there and screw it on and attach it. And hopefully this week, it's supposed to be back up to like 48 by Saturday. Hopefully this ice and snow melts that we have here, and I can dig a couple of holes and get some posts in right away before winter really sets in. It's not quite Thanksgiving yet, so it would be nice to have a couple of, I could use like 1 week of above 40 something temperatures that I can do a little digging here yet. But if not, then I don't get it. I'll support it some other way for now. My goal for today is I got to get this roof cut. This roof, whoever did this roof, I'm hoping you can see this. Maybe I need to adjust the camera again. So whoever did this roof, they left this hang out almost a foot off of that roof. All right, and I already, on the other side of this lean-to here, I already cut that back over there so that it's the right length. But I never got back to doing it on this side here. So it looks like they started cutting it, and then their blade or something must have went bad and they stopped. I got to get that cut back, to just a little bit of an overhang, and that way my other metal can tuck up underneath it, and it'll make a nice little bit of an overlap there. Right now it's overlapped too far because the little lean-to I'm going to be making here is going to be not the same pitch as the roof. So I have to cut that back a little bit so I got room to get up there and and put my board up and attach my board. We're gonna get at that. A couple different ways you can cut this metal. One is with a circle saw and a plywood blade turned backwards, which I don't think I have. Two is trying to do it with a tin snips, which is ridiculously painful. I think the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and use my cutoff wheel on my grinder, and I think that's the simplest way for me to do it standing on a ladder, is to use that grinder and just cut that off. If it's not perfectly straight, nobody's going to see it from downtown Amberg, so it'll be just fine. We're going to get at that. I'm going to go get the tools. I'm going to get the ladder set up, and I got to knock some of this ice off of here. Snap a line and we'll get going on it. Well, I'm gonna have to do this in sections because the wood stove is in my way here. So the reason I did it this way, I should have did this first, right? Cut this roof off. But the reason I did it this way is because I didn't know if this wood stove was gonna work here or not. So basically I installed a wood stove, made sure it worked. Now I'm gonna put the roof on. But anyhow, I'm limited as to how close I can get with my ladder. So I'm gonna have to kind of do this in sections here. So I got about 2 feet marked off here. Can you see the line here? It's pretty light, but I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna cut that as far as I can go here. Let me see if I can set this camera down somewhere. And as I said before, this is my tool of choice. So we're just gonna start cutting here. It cuts really easy, so that's why I picked this tool. And as soon as I get myself situated here better, without falling off the ladder so my daughter doesn't yell at me. Okay, it's that easy. So I'm gonna try and get the next section laid out, and we'll cut that off. Go all the way. We're gonna go all the way over till we hit the other lean-to there. Next section here. It should be. I'm almost to the end. Got about a foot to go after this section right here. So this may seem a little archaic, but believe it or not, it is the fastest way to cut through this metal. I mean, yeah, my line may not be perfectly straight, but it looks pretty good. It actually does. This goes through so fast. I don't know if you ever used a plywood blade backwards. It is noisy. It throws sparks in your face. It's just, to me, it was a bad situation. This, to me, is a way better way to cut. And I mean, if you're really concerned about it being straight, you could maybe put a guide, you know, against your blade here to use as a guide. But for what I'm doing, it don't really matter. So, all right, next section. So I think my biggest obstacle here is not so much the snow even as the ice that formed underneath this snow. This was a real wet, heavy snow. And then the first day after it snowed, it was kind of warm out. So it melted kind of underneath the snow a little bit. And now that all turned to ice. So I'm sitting here chiseling through this ice to get to put a line down on my roof here. I think that's probably the worst part about this whole project right now is this ice. The snow you can just brush off, but it leaves the ice underneath, so then you got that to deal with. That part's done. Now, I had said before that this chimney pipe just screws together. So this is just, well, maybe it's not going to come apart that easy, huh? There. Okay. It's just got like some knobs on the inside here and some knobs on the other piece, and it just screws it together. I mean, once it's together for a while, I don't think it's going to come apart that easy, but it's only been together a couple of days. So we're just going to set that up here in the snow, and we're going to come out with that roof and see if we can get that roof on. Well, here's the panel I made. Don't mind the mess. I was welding and stuff yesterday and doing a whole bunch of stuff, but I got this all made. These panels are not screwed on. They're just sitting on there. I just used them to get the size of the frame that I wanted. And then hopefully I spaced the 2x4s underneath there. Hopefully I spaced them correctly that they will clear that pipe. But if not, we're going to have to lift it back off and make some modifications. Hopefully we can mark it and whatever. So we'll get these panels off and we'll get the tractor going and we'll lift this off of here and set it to see if we can lift it up there and set it in place. So here's my problem. If you see the rib right here has to line up to that rib there. So I need to go over, I need to go to the right about an inch. So when I get over here, I'm tight up against that chimney pipe. So I have to box this out. So I have to box this out right here. I have to cut this here and make a box and kind of move this piece this way a couple inches. That's what I got to do in order to get that in place. I mean, it's close, but it ain't gonna fit right the way it is. It's either that or I have to extend this piece right here, put a longer piece there, which that is an option. I could do that. Let me think about it for a minute. I think I got her pretty close. I'm just gonna put a couple of screws in there. I'm gonna try and keep it flush with the bottom of that. The bottom of that overhang. Well, like I said before, nobody's gonna see it from downtown Amberg. I think I got it halfway straight. Okay, I think that's secure. Now we're just going to support the other end here temporarily until we get some poles put in. So my goal here at some point, not this year anymore, you know, possibly next summer or spring or whenever, next time I can get Pablo up here, right? Is to remove this other overhang here, this roofing here. This piece of roofing was, at one time it was attached to the old trailer, and you probably never saw the old trailer because I wasn't making videos back then. But the old trailer was a pink and white trailer. I might have a picture somewhere I'll put on this clip. But the old trailer, this was like the overhang where you came out the door. And when we took the property over and we came up here, the overhang was never on there already. So I don't know if her dad, you know, had this property. So I don't know if Barb's dad just didn't add the thing on, didn't put it on, or didn't have help to put it on, or whatever. But when I got up here, it was just sitting against the old farmhouse over here. So I came up one weekend and I built a little frame, and I threw this piece of aluminum. It's actually very light. I lifted it by myself. And I threw this up on top here just so I had a place to put our wood under. So that's got to be up here 16 years already, you know. I'm gonna match this stuff here. The new stuff is gonna match to the ribs on the garage roof. So at some point, you know, hopefully this spring or next summer, I will get this piece of aluminum back off of here, and then I will have to shim that frame up to match this, and then put the same tin on here so it matches the roof. That's my goal for right now. So we're just putting this up here to protect the wood stove for now, and we'll get this all evened out, you know, next year hopefully, and get it done right away. So I think my best bet to get this straight at the same pitch is to just lay something on here like this 2x4. So I'm almost flush now with that 2x4 on there. Okay, so if I come down to the other end here, so I'm about half a 2x4 away. So I'm a good half a 2x4 that this has to come up. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna do, and that's gonna at least ensure that when I take this metal off, that I'll be at the same pitch as the other frame. I think that's gonna work. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jack this up a little bit on this end, attach a 2x4 to it right now to hold it in place, and then at some point there's going to be a 4x4 stuck in this corner. But right now the ground's pretty hard. It froze, you know, like I said, we were in a deep freeze all last week. Hopefully it's supposed to be 48 by Friday and Saturday, so hopefully that takes the chill out of the top surface here, and I can get a hole dug, and then I can get the posts in right away. And that would make me feel better going forward for the winter. You know I'm a little late getting this done. You know, I should have had this all ready to go when Pablo was here, and I just didn't get it done, you know how it goes. All right, that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to jack this up. Okay, I got a couple of I got a couple of screws started there, and I'm hoping I can just push this up. Keep this. So my power line is up here on top. Actually went a little bit too far. Okay, that is perfect right where it is, but you know, I'm sure this is going to sink once this all thaws out in here, because this turns to mud here. So that's why I want to get some poles in the ground down further. But for right now, it'll hold it in place just in case. You never know when the next big snowstorm is coming, you know. And you go through all this work, you don't want it damaged right away. All right, so now I got to get a level and get one on this corner over here. Does it look level? Looks level. Maybe we'll put a couple of screws in this one here. All right, let's go check the level again. Yeah, it came down a little bit, but we can adjust that when we put the post in. We can push up on it a little bit. So we got that hung up. We get the tractor out of the way here. That should stand by itself now. And the next thing we got to do now is I decided to move the chimney pipe over because I have plenty of clearance there. I forget what the number was, but I got enough room there. That this was supposed to be 30 something here. Yeah, this was supposed to be 31. I'm at 38 to the side of the back of the furnace, so I got a little bit of room there that I can move that pipe over just a little bit and go up on that side of that beam, or that 2x4. So that's what we're gonna do next. I got a piece for that already. I think it was like a 6-inch or 8-inch piece, long piece. That should be just enough. Then we have to try and put a hole in the other piece of metal, and get that sealed up. All right, so let's move that pipe. So this is a real simple setup. This is the piece here. I think it's let me measure it. Yeah, 5 inches is what it ends up roughly. You know, I mean, you can't push this all the way in. You always want to use a piece of wood or something on the end of that before you pound on that metal because that metal will bend really easy. So there you go, 5 inches. These are a little bit long, but they'll work. Oh, of course the battery goes dead, just like that. There it is. Now we just put this back on. I'm hoping that goes on there. No, that ain't gonna go on there. Shoots. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this off. Those are the things that happen. Everything's made one way or the other. Okay, I'm back. I've been having this issue where my screen goes dark all by itself. I don't know why it does that. But anyhow, all this stuff is made one way or the other. Either this was a double, and then this was a single direction, where this goes inside, and this goes on the inside on both sides. So I gotta cut this off right here, and that'll make, then this will slide inside it. So I'll be back in a little bit. I gotta go take that inside and cut that off. Okay, so I cut this, got this in here, right? And I had to add a little plate here to my my bracket that was holding this up. And this is just a support to help this so the weight isn't pushing down on here. So now we're gonna get the other piece of pipe and put it back on here and see how it looks to this 2x4 up here. Yeah, that looks good. Perfect. This bracket here will go on this side now. We'll go right there, like that. Looks good. I love it when a plan comes together. So I just want to show you something here. I hope this shows up on the camera. But people talk about creosote, you know, from your wood. This is only from a weekend of burning right here. This only ran for, let's see, I started on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So basically three days that I ran this. And that's how much creosote is built up in there. You look in this pipe here too. Look down there. Hopefully you can see how that's all flaking off already in there. Now that'll keep flaking off like that, and it falls down in here, and that's why you have a cap on here. On the bottom of this, you have a cap here to clean that out. And then you have a brush that you go up from the bottom up. But this is what'll start a fire in your house if you don't clean this. It builds up fast. This wood I'm burning has been sitting under this lean-to for 10 years. So it's plenty dry. I didn't test it with my tester, but I can tell you for a fact it's dry. It lights like paper. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, it is pine and spruce, and I got a bunch of maple and oak here that I've been putting in at night. Yeah, that's how fast that stuff builds up. Doesn't matter what kind of wood you burn it, you're gonna have it. Okay, I got this all put together. Got screws back in there. Got my support back in place. And we got our bracket up there on top. So the next step now is to bring back in the next piece of tin and mark that pipe and cut a hole in the tin. Okay, I got the panel up on top. And I got the other section up on top already. There's a little gap there where I cut it. I didn't get it perfect. I don't know, we'll fill that in with something. I gotta look and see. I'm not sure if these have like a ring that goes on here to really clamp them together. I didn't see it when I bought these, but I'm gonna look for it And if there is one, I'll put that up there before I caulk or do whatever, or I'll look for some kind of a ring there. It's not going to sit flat because of the steel. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to fill it with caulk. These don't get real hot. You can almost touch them. You can touch them when it's running. So I think I'll just fill that with caulk. I don't know. I'll see. We'll see once what we can find. Because otherwise the water is going to come in and run down the pipe, you know. But I added some cross members that, you know, tighten everything up, stiffen everything up so I can walk on it, you know, up on top. I got a couple to do up there yet. I'll get those done. For the most part, that's it until I get the posts put in. So we can run it now the way it is, and although it's supposed to be in the 40s the rest of the week, so hopefully all this ice melts and I can get the posts in, and that's what I'm banking on. All right, tomorrow's another day, and we'll finish this up tomorrow. There it is, all finished up. I tried digging a hole this morning, and it's still pretty hard. It's all done except for some caulk up there and the posts, and that's going to be it. So there's a couple other things I want to show you today. So this here is my next experiment. This thing is called a carryall. It's sold at Tractor Supply, made by County Line Manufacturing. I went and got this granite rock out of the woods and I strapped it on there, and I'm going to use this as my counterweight for the winter because I want to take the backhoe off because the backhoe gets too long and it seems to be in my way all the time, and I'm hoping this shortens it up by a couple feet at least so it fits in the garage better, you know, and it gives me the weight I need on the back to keep my traction, because otherwise the minute you put that snowplow on, your back tires are going to be light and then you're going to be spinning all over the place. So hopefully this works, and if nothing else, I have other rocks out there. If this rock is too heavy, I calculated this out to be about 1,000 pounds, same as the backhoe. And that's what this carryall is supposed to be able to carry, is 1,000 pounds. So, you know, if I'm off a little bit or whatever, we'll see. But the tractor should lift it no problem. It's the frame of this thing itself that I'm a little worried about, that it ain't gonna hold up. But you start bouncing around or something with that much big of a rock on there. But I do have other rocks over there, so I can adapt it if it doesn't work. But that's one of the things I wanted to show you. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I shot that doe on what was that, the 15th. Every year, you know, I kind of keep track of my bucks and stuff. I kind of try and keep track of what's coming on the property. I have cameras up all over the place, so if something comes in and follows the normal trails, I'm gonna see it, right? This year I have had nothing but spikers the whole season, and all of a sudden here the other day, I went and pulled the chips yesterday, so that would have been Tuesday. I'm not sure what the date is anymore, but it would have been Tuesday of this week. And I went and pulled the chips, and sure enough, here was a pretty nice 8-pointer on there. Here's a little clip of them. The 8-pointer comes through. I mean, this happens every year right around this time, right around gun season, where one of these nice deer come through looking for the does or whatever, and he's only there for a day. That's the only picture I have of him. He hasn't been there since. He hasn't been there before, and so he was just passing through, and that's the way it works around here. So one of these days, I'm hoping I'm sitting in the tree stand when this guy comes through, but I wasn't, you know, and it was at night, so you're not going to see him anyhow, but that's the way it goes around here. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Leonard. We named the bird Leonard, okay? And I have not seen him now for a week, probably since the snow came. So I don't know if they go and hide somewhere or whatever, but I had a pretty good sized bobcat on the camera here also. So I'm a little worried about Leonard right now. So I'm gonna go over there with some food and we're gonna see if he shines around. But here's a little clip of him strutting his stuff again in the field with a deer standing right in front of him. I don't know why he's doing this because I don't believe it's mating season, but he's out there strutting his stuff in the field. So check this out. And we're gonna quick run over there with the four-wheeler, take some food over there, and see if he shines around. So stick around here. Good news, he's still here. Here's my boy Leonard. Yep. Linyard skinyard. I saw you out there strutting your stuff in the field the other day. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yep. Need to watch out. There's a big kitty cat. There's a big kitty cat out here. Yep. Well, you're probably hungry. I haven't fed you in a while. Yeah. There's a big kitty cat out here. You better watch out. Okay? Well, as you just saw, Leonard Skinner still lives. That's good. I'm happy that he's still there. I like the little guy. So anyhow, I think that's it for this week's video. You know, if you like my video, remember, give me a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.